together, I reminded the commission members, including Butch Ramik, whose term of office was up in May, that they needed to contact the clerk's office, the mayor, the council, whoever it is that we contact, to let them know whether they wanted to or did not want to continue on. Butch made it clear to all of us present that he did not want to. After that, as secretary, I felt it was my responsibility to think of somebody on the council, because this is the council position we're talking about, who would be familiar with the Veterans Museum and would be devoted to the Veterans Museum. And I personally contacted Charley Johnson to ask him to consider doing it. I gave him a couple of days. He got back to me and said, yes, if he was appointed, he would gladly serve. I contacted the mayor and told him of my conversation and suggested to him that he verify himself about Butch, because me telling him was hearsay, and that's never a good thing. So that was the process that happened, and every time I saw the mayor, I'm sure he will verify, I asked, when is Charley going to be coming up for approval? When is Charley going to be coming up for approval? As recently as Holly's ceremony, I asked. So I just want you to understand that there was nothing mean-spirited in this. It was simply a matter of someone told us they weren't going to do it. I knew we needed somebody, and I just did it myself. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I just did it myself, and that's how the process happened. I want you to know that Charley has been involved with the Museum Commission from before the start of the Museum Commission. Charley was involved when we were doing Memorial Day ceremonies, and Charley is absolutely, as one who knows, devoted to the veterans of our city and would do a fine job on the commission. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, just to be sure and clarify, my resignation was to the commission, correct? It was not from initially it was not from the council position, correct? You remember that? I gave you a resignation because I was coming up for another due date. Because it was coming up for, so you're telling me that I told you I was resigning from the council?
No, you told all of us that you were not going to ask to be renewed, and your term was up in May. That's what you're...
For what position?
For the member of the Museum Commission.
Thank you. That's all. Just wanted to be sure I didn't tell you that it was for the council. Okay, good. Okay, that's fine. I'll leave it up to the council. It's their choice.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilman Zerl.
I'm new to some of this information. So you resigned, you changed your mind, you want to be back on,
That's correct.
and you intend to actively participate in the commission and do what's necessary to run the museum.
Exactly.
I don't have...
As a council representative. Now, I realize that the commission portion will be filled, but it has nothing to do with being appointed from this council to represent this council to the museum.
What is, I don't mean to interrupt, what is the position you hold there? Are you just the council representative, or are you...
Now I am, yes. Now I would be, correct? Thank you. Yeah, I'm just a council representative. That's what I am.
Okay, but did you hold another position?
Yes.
Okay.
Through the chair, and this maybe, Mayor, you can answer. So the motion is reading for the remaining council member's term, but from what I'm understanding, Mr. Ramik's term was up. So this would actually be a new appointment. I guess I'm confused on the language.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, yeah, that was probably a typo when it was entered. Kimber, I think, thought that this was to fulfill the balance of the term, not realizing that his term had actually expired. So this would be a new appointment for the full term.
And that full term would be for how long?
It's a full four-year term, correct, Cindy? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. A three-year term.
So it's a three-year term. Are there any other, I'm just curious, not that they have to, but are there any other commission members that have any feedback? I mean, I know we heard from Stephanie. That have any feedback on this?
While we're waiting for the chair, I'm a little confused, because if it is a council rep replacement, then it wouldn't be for a full 3 years. It would only, the person would have to be on council to be in that position, correct?
Right, and if some reason I'm not on, or Mr. Remick is not on,
Right,
then
then it would
then
be,
that council would appoint somebody else.
It's a position
Okay.
for a council.
Mr. Chairman, can I add something before the next one?
Sure.
Can we extend this until after the election? Because to me, that sounds like it would work out even better yet, because you don't know, who is going to be on the city council after the election. So why couldn't Mr. Ramik just continue on until the next election and then the new person come on, whether it's him or Charlie or whoever?
Stephanie might be best,
Mr. Chairman, may I
Sure.
please answer that? We have no one right now. Mr. Ramik was done in May. You have taken no action in June and July. We have no one in a position on the commission. We are about to lose another commission member who in 2 weeks is moving out of state. I'll leave that person to notify you themselves. But to have you hold it over till November seems a little ill-advised in my opinion. It would be far better to select somebody and then let them be a gentleman, since it's both gentlemen, and remove themselves with a resignation if they are in fact no longer a member of council. That's just a president's opinion.
Well, and he rescinded his resignation, is what I'm saying. And I understand the legality of all that.
He didn't resign. He's not on the commission right now.
No, we're talking about city council. I'm not talking about commission at all. I'm talking about the city council rep. You know, I think as a city council rep, it should continue to be Mr. Ramik until after the election in November. Not talking about commission members. That's not what this
But the
motion is.
person who is the city council rep on our commission is a member of the commission who is also on the council. Whereas you as a council select somebody for a 3-year term. If they aren't here for the 3-year term, then they do the right thing. But the position is for a commission member. It happens to be being filled at this point in time by no one, but it was being filled by Butch Ramik. Before that, it was Tim Woolley. Before that, I guess I could look back in my minutes and tell you Charlie was at. So it's the importance is filling the commission seat from amongst the council members
there has to be by bylaw.
because our bylaws require us to have a sitting council member as one of our commissioners, not separate, as one of our commissioners.
Mr. Chairman,
That-
can I ask a question? Sure. What, do your bylaws specifically say the council member is only for 3 years as well?
No, the council members have always historically filled the balance of the term that they went into. So say Tim resigned early because he became the chairman of the council, and Butch Ramik came in and finished that term of office, which just expired in May. It's a commission term that happens to be filled by a council person. Does that make it
But it
clearer?
does have an end date prior to the end.
Of council.
They're all 3 years. All renewals are 3 years.
It expired in May.
There are
It expired in May of 2021, correct?
There are several members on the commission that are expired as of now.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Chairman, Councilman Berger.
Well, I thought we were dealing with a resignation, but we're really dealing with an expired term. So is it their bylaws bound, or is it our city charter bound on how a appointment gets made? Because that's really what we're being asked to do, is to make a new council appointment, nothing to do with a resignation. So does it say the mayor recommends and council approves, or just council approves? Your recommendation is obviously Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, it is, but it's based on the fact that we did reach out on April 30th to Councilman Ramik, and we sent an email and just said, I understand that Stephanie Krueger has reached out to the commissioners whose term expires next month to see if they wish to seek reappointment to the commission. She informed me that you do not wish to serve another term. However, I, on behalf of the mayor, wanted to reach out to you prior to seeking out another candidate to be sure. This was sent from Kimber, and on May 3rd, Councilman Ramik said, yes, I'm sure. So then on May 4th, we reached out to Councilman Johnson with a similar email asking if he had interest, and he did. And then on July 1st, 2 months later, after the item was already loaded into the agenda, we heard from Councilman Ramik requesting to withdraw his lack of interest to be reappointed. So we were just acting on the information we had at the time. At the time, there was no interest to be reappointed. Councilman Johnson expressed interest, and so here we are.
Mr. Chairman. So you're saying that, was I informed that my position as council representative was up? Does it say anywhere in there? Can you read it to me?
Mr. Chairman, not from my office. It was that we just asked if you were interested in being reappointed. I assume that you understood when your term as council representative expired.
No. But the whole incident was that when I ended up taking that position, I had told that I would resign from the commission, but I was still basically aware that I would still be represented to the end, which is 4 months away, to be the representative of the council. And my question would be, is anyone ever, when I was appointed to that position on the commission, was it made voluntarily? Was I voted in?
Mr. Chairman, I assume that you were voted in,
Yes.
by the
I'm not
city
Yeah,
council.
the council
We would have had to
voted you in
Right.
for the length of the term. And from what I'm understanding, your term is expired, correct?
Correct.
3 years?
In May.
Okay,
It expired in May.
okay.
I'm not.
So
I'm not-
whoever we vote for tonight will get a 3-year term, but if any of them are unsuccessful, they would have to step down as the council representative, but they could still be on the commission.
Correct.
Just as a resident.
That is correct.
Yes.
Similar to Planning Commission, Tifa Board, they all have council representatives,
Right.
and that doesn't prohibit you from being a planning commissioner, you just wouldn't be the city council representative.
And we had, at one time, me and Jack Myers were on at the same time, but I was the actual official council representation.
Mr. Chairman, so I get that, so I'm not clear on Mr. Ramek's distinction, though. You were only on the commission as a council rep, and the term expired in May, correct?
That's what I've been made aware of, along with some others, I guess, from the commission.
Okay. So I get how we've all got to where we're at now, so then the question is, if the mayor is bringing forward Mr. Johnson, does council have the authority to nix Mr. Johnson and appoint Mr. Ramek or Mr. Smith or Mr. Jones, or does the recommendation have to come from the mayor? I know we have to approve it, but who gets to recommend it?
Mr. Chairman, I'm assuming that, like most commissions, the mayor recommends and the council concurs or does not concur. With that being said, I went forward with requesting Councilman Johnson be appointed, and at that time, the decision was made based on the fact that Councilman Ramik was not seeking reappointment, or not interested in seeking reappointment, so.
So Dan, I think to answer your question is if we voted no tonight on the mayor's recommendation,
I think
then
so
they would
too.
have to bring somebody else to fill that position.
I believe that is correct, Mr. Chairman.
And Mr. Chairman, I want to be clear, I'm not making any anti-Charlie Johnson statements. I just hear a gentleman who changed his mind and who wants to stay on. And unless any of the other members say otherwise, or there's information that says for some reason we don't believe he can fill the duties of a council rep on the commission, he wants to stay on. I don't know why we didn't recognize the fact that he changed his mind. Let him stay on, see what happens in the election, and determine what to do from that point forward. I know somebody else from the commission was going to come up. I don't know if you change your mind. I don't want to force you into coming up.
Evelyn Shadowbert, 10760 William Street, Taylor. I am on the commission. I've been on the commission for a long time. I was there when it started. I was out for a little while and back in, and with COVID, it's been hard. But Stephanie, everything Stephanie said is just true. She's on top of things. Everything is just exactly like she said. I think it should be a mayor's appointment. It's always been a mayor's appointment. Who are we to say? I believe it should be a mayor appointment, and you guys have the power to either agree or disagree, but that's the way I believe it should be. I know that I've worked with both of them on the commission. I know that Charlie did a great job. Butch did a good job. I think that the work that's been done during COVID is nice. It's awesome. You guys have done a great job, but we got to get moving again. We can't wait till another election. We got to have someone in there doing this. So, and I understand if you don't want to do it tonight, maybe it can be on the next one or whatever, but I think we need to do it right away. It needs to be done. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. I'm sorry, did you?
Yeah,
Richard.
I do want to say, and I don't disagree that people do have a right to change their mind, but we also do have somebody for 2 months that said they were willing to step up and take on that additional responsibility as well. and when someone else didn't want to, and so that, I think we should recognize that.
Mr. Chair, and I have a question on the commission part, and I understand commissions on a lot of them, I'm the historical commission. Is there criteria for someone to be on the Veterans Commission, Veterans Museum Commission, that means that they have to be past military or anything like that? It could be anybody, okay, so. Okay, and according to the clerk, there are 3 people that have expired?
I'll double check, but according to the chair, according to my records, I have 6 people. I'm sorry, that's including Councilman Ryan,
That are expired.
that are expired.
So when are we going to see those?
That was my next question, so.
Normally, the board, well, for those commissioners, once they have their meeting, they decide at that point, who wants to do this, who wants to do that, and then they have the election.
Mr. Chairman, I believe the delay has been, there haven't been many meetings due to COVID, so I think they're just now starting to try to assemble again. And I know later on tonight we'll hear of one resignation coming forward, but I think that they intend to begin meeting again. So hopefully in the next meeting, we'll get those appointments, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilman Zarek.
So they're not going to be able to meet or have a quorum or vote until those other appointments are made, is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have the bylaws in front of me. I don't know if they've met at all. I don't know, I don't think other than the operations of the meeting, I don't believe there's any money to approve anything. So I don't know how
I'm not sure either.
big of an issue it is, but I think they intend to move forward. I don't think there's an intentional delay. I think just with COVID and then getting the museum moved from the past location to the current location, I think there was just a lot going on.
I don't disagree. I'm just assuming that when conducting the business of the commission, that it would require a quorum and a majority vote. And if 6 of them aren't able to vote, while they could meet and gather and discuss, they probably can't take action as a commission. That's speculation on my part. So getting the council position filled as well as all the other ones is necessary for the commission to, again, be productive and
I think
working toward what they work
there will
towards.
be probably a little wiggle room with the COVID situation, them not being able to meet. So when the people basically expired, they weren't able to meet to figure out who, what, and then come in here. So, I don't know what the rules would be, but I would think if the majority they don't have a quorum without people being voted in, they first have to make sure that the people that are on the commission want to fulfill those positions.
Gotcha.
So.
And has somebody reached out to those other expired individuals to see if they wanted to be reappointed?
To the majority of them, yes.
Do they?
Yeah, most of them want to be reappointed. So I think the one action that they won't take is electing new officers. I don't believe that'll take place until the reappointments are confirmed.
So, Mr. Chair, I just have another thing is, can you have 2 council people on a commission and one be the representative,
Yes.
the other one be a commission? That's what I was trying to get at
Me
before.
and, actually, I just saw him back there. Welcome back.
So I'm thinking you have 2 members right here that could be on the commission, and if we vote for Mr. Johnson tonight, he could be the representative. But Mr. Ramik is still on as a commission member to continue on with his work, is what I was thinking, but I don't know.
Yes,
Is that,
you can have, at the time I was on, I was the council commissioner to the Veterans Museum. Mr. Myers got voted in onto council, and then he was also a current member of the museum, of the Veterans Museum. So he was on the commission, but he wasn't the council rep, I was.
so we have 2 gentlemen here who are willing to go forward and help out with the museum. Yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer that they should both be on there, but I don't know how you do all that.
Mr. Chairman, if I may answer the council lady. At this point in time, we have 1 vacancy, we actually have expired terms. Charlie Johnson is being recommended as your council person and to fill a 3-year term. The mayor's office was given the information on the people, as well as the people were given the information from Stephanie, their secretary. I can't take care of grown-ups not doing their job. I can only tell them, what
Stephanie
to do.
is a bulldog, too, in case.
But I suspect, as,
She doesn't mess around.
well, as I indicated, in 2 weeks, we are going to have to go to the, and ask